What do you think about staging? Do you think staging is necessary at all? Well, I want to show you a before and after of a property that I worked on this year. It was actually earlier in the spring, so it was a completely different market, but I still think it shows the importance of staging because now if we think we are moving into a changing market, more than likely we might be moving into more of a buyer's market. And I still think this before and after is super relevant. Even if I did it in a market where it was a little hotter and buyers were more accepting of defects of properties, I don't think so. I think here I can still make an argument for staging and cleaning up a property and what I consider romancing the buyer. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are. This is the very beginning of the video in the hallway in the entrance, and I made this video for the seller, and the whole emphasis when I was talking through this video was, hey, this house needs love because we need to get the highest possible price for the trust, but also we need to romance the buyer. So we want to make them feel kind of comfortable and good in the property, even though we know the location is good. I mean, certainly the location could have sold it, and you'll see in the next video the after of how close it is to the ocean. But you can see here how dated this place is. I think it's original to the owner. I think she bought it pretty close to from the original owner. See, there's the electrical plug there in the bathroom. Great electrical wiring there. You can see the look on my face like, wait, what's happening here? And the carpet, the paint's dated. I don't think it's ever been touched, honestly, since it was built. And you can see the cottage cheese ceilings here. And I make a comment about that. We're going to move into the kitchen. Whoa. Sorry about these wide swings. There's the backyard with an overgrown little patch of lawn. And then here's the kitchen. Like I said, I think it's completely original and super clean. So we had it painted and cleaned up, but we didn't actually have to clean it because it was super clean. But here's the garage, and this one is important because I'm actually explaining to the seller here. I don't normally tell sellers to clean up a garage because most buyers are like, it's a garage. But this one, it needed it. It had holes. I'm also talking about this very old hot water heater. It had stuff there. And I was just talking about all the things that if we went on the market without staging, all these things that would be just glaring problems. And so I point each one of them out. You know, the carpet is dirty, and just the overall presentation, they just wouldn't have made good money on this property. Now here's where we actually are done. I use drone footage to kind of get the layout. Look, we're very close to the ocean, and here we are. Can you feel the new carpet? We painted the ceiling, we encapsulated that cottage cheese and treated it. And basically what we do is, when you paint it, you kind of stick it there. Look at, we painted the cabinets. Now, painters don't like to do that. That's a very hard thing to get a painter to do. It's a lot of work. You'll see when we go back to the kitchen, or maybe we won't go back to the kitchen. There was hinges and knobs that had to be put back on, but see how everything clean, it smells better. Same dated bathroom, and the other one's dated as well, but you can kind of see how it's presented completely different. We cleaned up the yard. There was also a lot of hauling that had to be done, and it's super hard to get contractors to come and do this little tiny bit of work. But that said, you can kind of tell where the overall view of the property versus not having the staging and not cleaning it up, because people think of the as is sale. I just want to sell it as is. I don't want to put any money into it. Even in a hot market, I always advocated for it. I always got more than a couple offers. That one, we actually had 3 interested parties. I think we only got 1 offer. No, I think we actually got 2. I'm sorry. But the 1 offer was just amazing, and we took it and ran, and we closed in 10 days. That still happens. I did the same thing on another property. It wasn't really a before and after because the sellers did a lot of prep work before I came in the picture, and we just staged it. But the same principle applies. You really need to woo the buyer. You just have to. You have to you can't just let them walk into a property like this. Like right when you walk in, that's their first impression. There was old, we actually put in a new smoke detector there, but old smoke detector. I mean, even just the basic things that cost maybe $20 were old and dated. That just tells a buyer that you kind of have like a seller who's, they don't really care. They might motivated and they don't get very excited about a property. When you actually do this work and you actually, we have like the smelly candle. I mean, you just create this ambiance. The buyers get excited too, and then given an offer date, they jump in and they're just excited too. I mean, really going from there to there, you just see how much more alluring the property is. Now we're moving into a buyer's market. I believe we're going to see a little bit where buyers have a little bit more, not power, but they have a little bit more, kind of control, where before it was just like, whatever the sellers want, I'll do it. And now not so much. And it's super important to get that property in tip top shape as much as you can. Now, I did another property and I'll do another one. And that one, there was just some stuff we couldn't overcome. So we cleaned up, we did repairs. We just did as much as we could. And then I told the sellers, look, we're just going to have to go on the market with what we have. There's just so much work that needs to be done. We could just literally never stop. And then on top of that, we're doing touches that may not appeal to the buyer. They may change. So that is my argument for staging. Please subscribe if you like my channel. And if you want more suggestions, I'm going to do a few more of these because, it's really transformative what I see. I mean, I go into some of these properties. That property there, this one here, I mean, it had flies and it smelled bad. I mean, it was just, they cleaned the carpets and then closed everything up. And then, just to bring this light into this beautiful property. And I mean, I just don't think there's any comparison there. So if you've got questions and you're thinking about selling and what you need to do to romance the buyer, please let me know. I'm here for you. And of course, as buyers, I would love to help you as well. Thank you so much.